Oh, hey guys, I didn't know you were in here. Did you know that baby beavers are called kittens? Did you know that an albatross can fly while it sleeps? Apples are actually part of the rose family. Apparently girls have more taste buds than boys. It's really sad, but true. Hummingbirds can't walk. Dolphins nap with one eye open. Did you know that only male fireflies can fly? Did you know that a seahorse can actually move its eyes in opposite directions? To cook an egg, the sidewalk needs to be 158 degrees Fahrenheit. A group of jellyfish is called a smack. Komodo dragons can devour 5 pounds of meat in under 1 minute. All apes laugh when they're tickled. Did you know that your hair contains traces of gold? The TV remote is the dirtiest item in a household, hospital, or hotel. Among all of these lovely facts, my favorite is that Squarespace can help you create a very clean, professional-looking website in just minutes. From websites to online stores, to marketing tools and analytics, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform to build your online presence and run your business. I think my favorite feature about Squarespace is the ease of use. Absolutely anyone could create a website in just a minute. In fact, if you guys want to check out an example of a very, very nice website that we developed using Squarespace, you can go to itsjustasix.com/shop. We're actually giving away a car right now, so go check it out anyways. Squarespace can actually integrate with your social media profiles to allow you to post your Instagram posts, YouTube, etc. to your website. Using Squarespace, you can also see how many people are going onto your page, where they're coming from, what they're doing on the website. It is a very, very nice feature to have, especially if you're wanting to run an online store. Go check out squarespace.com to try a free trial today, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/itsjustasix to save 10% off your first website or domain. Trust me, it'll be great. Anyways guys, let's continue on with today's video. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're having some, unfortunately, some technical difficulties, but to be expected with a brand new engine. Basically what we're having issues with is our lockouts that we put on the car. Whenever you put those lockouts in, you've got to degree the cams, and they've got to be set to 112 degrees on the intake cams and 118 degrees on the exhaust cams. Well, yesterday I actually data logged the car, sent over the data log to VMP to give me a revision, and whenever they looked at the data log, they noticed that the camshaft position sensors showed that the intakes were in fact both set at 112 degrees, but the exhaust, for some reason, the two exhaust cams were set to be 6 degrees difference between them, which is not right. They're supposed to be both 118. He said that technically the sensors are showing that they're 6 degrees out. He did say that sometimes these cams in particular have issues. Basically, there's a gear on the back of the camshaft, and that's basically what reads where the position is. He said sometimes those are a little bit off for some reason. They've had issues with like this in the past where they're actually degreed properly, but the sensors are basically reading wrong. So to ensure that we have them set, instead of them being 6 degrees out, we're going to test to see if they're actually the same by doing a compression test. And whenever you do a compression test on bank 1, which is the driver's side, and then bank 2 on the passenger side, technically the compression test should show that bank 1 and bank 2 are both basically the exact same. If they are actually 6 degrees out like the sensors are showing, then we're going to be getting a lot different compression numbers between bank 1 and bank 2. So to do an accurate compression test, especially being that this is a brand new engine with the rings that aren't technically completely seated yet because I haven't gotten to drive it, we're going to crank this thing up, let it get up to operating temperature. Then after that, we're going to pull all the spark plugs out and slip our compression tester in there, compression test all 8 cylinders, and we're gonna basically take those numbers, relay them over to VMP, and we're gonna go from there. I don't know exactly what's gonna happen, but the worst thing, like the absolute worst thing that can happen out of this is that we have to pull the blower off, we have to pull the timing cover off, valve covers, all that good stuff, and redegree the cams. But we do not have to pull the engine out of the car again, which is a good thing. It's just, it's gonna take some time, I won't lie to you. It's definitely a painful process, but that's the worst case. So best case is that we do the compression test, they're in degree, they're good, and we're just getting a faulty reading because of some issues with the grind on the cams or something like that, and we can continue on with the tuning. We just got to verify first that we do have them at the same degree before we can continue on with tuning, because then we'll end up chasing a lot of problems that are technically just a mechanical issue anyways. I'm hoping that we can get this thing back together and get it working before the event that we're hosting October 12th. By the way, if you guys have not marked your calendars, check out this flyer right here. Stop this video, screenshot the flyer right here. Make sure you guys come out. It's going to be in Ferris, Texas, technically, at Extreme Raceway Park. It's right outside of Dallas. This is going to be a very, very fun event. We're having 5 total classes. 3 of them are going to be stick shift classes. 2 of them are going to be automatic classes. So we've got something for everybody. And we're giving prizes out to the top 5 winners. We're giving out cash, and SK Tools is actually going to be there. And they're going to be giving out some tools for you guys also. So there's going to be a lot of prizes. If you don't think that maybe you've got the top 3 car, you've got 5 chances in each class to win. So it's gonna be fun for everybody. No crazy rules or anything like that. Just come out, have some fun, race your cars, come hang out, meet and greet. It's gonna be fun. But anyways, guys, let's go ahead and get started diagnosing this motor and see what we can figure out. I'm really praying that the cams are degreed. Doug spent a lot of time degreeing these cams, so it should be fine, but it is weird that it's showing different. We're gonna try and crank this thing up, let it get up to operating temperature, and once it's at operating temp, we'll do the compression test. I do want to mention, guys, just understand that whenever stuff like this takes place, it's just part of it. We've got a lot of aftermarket stuff. This is one of the only Coyote engines, well, not one of, but there's very few Coyote engines that have lockouts. This is a very rare setup. It's only common in very, very devoted race applications. This is basically a full-blown race engine, and with doing that, there's obviously going to be issues. It's not like a normal stock engine where you just assemble it and it's good to go. It takes trial and error to get everything right. Like I said before, we've never done this. I'm just happy to see that, for one, it runs. For 2, we've got oil pressure, no ticking, knocking, anything like that, and it sounds very healthy. So I'm not complaining at all. Also, listen to those cams. All right, guys, we've got our compression gauge hooked up to first cylinder on the passenger side bank. So now we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna hit the gas down so that way it cuts fuel and ignition. Let it turn over about 5 seconds, and then we're gonna check the compression and see what we got.
About 152.
152?
Yeah.
That one was 153. This one should be about 153 if they're exactly the same. So we'll figure it out. 180. Oh boy. Not looking good so far, but we'll test the next 2 and see what those 2 read. And we're gonna test this one right here. If this one is back close to that 150, we'll probably just stop there.
76.
No way. 176. I'll be damned.
Actually, that's more like 178.
That's a good sign.
I mean, it is a fresh motor. The rings may not have seated in all the cylinder walls yet. It's odd for it to be that far off.
Obviously, if you have this low of compression, the only way that normally that can happen is if you've got either a bent valve, which we don't have. We just checked all that. A head gasket issue. It's a brand new engine that we just started up. There's no head gasket issues.
Straight up not having a good time, bro. Yeah, let's try it again.
We're gonna retest this front one that tested 153 the first time. The other 3 are real close, so we're gonna test this one again and see if we maybe didn't have the compression tester screwed in all the way or something. 162.
Still a hair on the low side.
I wonder why that one's so low. 164.
Yeah.
All right, now we're gonna do the 3rd cylinder on the passenger side and see what we get. So far on this side, we've got 164, 178. On this side, we've got 180, 176. So we're gonna test this one, and then that one, and that one, so. 146. Oh, okay. I wonder why these numbers are all over the place like that. 154. I've got 2 weeks to have this car ready. If we end up not being able to take this car out to the event, please don't hate me. We're gonna definitely, for sure, try to take out the giveaway Corvette. By the way, it's just 6.com/shop if you want to get entered to win that Corvette. We're gonna be taking Meep out there for sure, the Turbo Miata. I'm probably gonna take the Shelby out there, and then I'm really trying to take the Mustang out. Oh God, I want to take this out so bad. This is a bummer. Ready? 176. 185. So we found out that Chip is actually a girl.
Chip is Chipette. You know, some strawberry, maybe.
Y'all want to know what it's like to have a Doug? Let me show you what it's like to have a Doug. I walk outside, I kid you not, for 5 minutes. A friend of mine just showed up. We stood outside 5 minutes talking. I come back and Doug's like, yo, what's up? You got the whole thing pulled apart already. So now that the valve covers are off, we've got access to the cam lockouts, which are right here. And now what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to see basically what we need to adjust. I think we're gonna have to only adjust the exhaust cam of the passenger side, because the passenger side, as you guys see, had a little bit lower number. So it looks like at the lower numbers, it looked like we would need to advance them, correct?
I'm thinking so. We're gonna find out through VMP what they would really like us to do though before we make a final decision.
Okay, so update real quick. It's actually been a few hours. We've been diagnosing this car, trying to get everything fixed up, and I've been back and forth with VMP and everybody trying to get something figured out. And we're kind of going through a little bit of diagnosis here, but we're having a little bit of trouble. So based on the logs, it looked like the exhaust cam on this side was actually 6 degrees out, and it was a 6 degrees too advanced, so we needed to retard it 6 degrees. Hopefully our first trial and error procedure hopefully is spot on. All right, key on, data log start. On this little card right here, we've got our new data log. I'm gonna send this over to VMP. Cool. I'm gonna send this over to VMP real quick and we'll find out an answer shortly. Give me just a second.
No, I'm making cooking, I know this. A real man, he can disco and cooking the game.
First off, I want to say a huge thanks to VMP. The guy that tunes for me up there, his name is Joe. Joe legitimately does just about everything in his power constantly to help me out after hours. It is currently like 8 o'clock at night. He's still helping me out. We just now got word back from him that the cams look like they're in time, which means that we degreed them right this time, even though we kind of just took a little bit of a guess. We loosened up the the lockouts and kind of took pliers, just turned it a little bit. It worked.
Calculated guess. So
Calculated guess, yeah. We took a little guess and the little guess turned out to work. So all 4 of the cams are in spec now, which is perfect. We actually got them within a degree of each other, so that's literally perfect. He asked that we just go ahead and do another compression test from bank 1 and bank 2 just to ensure that we're getting good compression and same numbers, which hopefully at this point we should. After we get the compression test done and all of that good stuff, then tomorrow hopefully we'll be able to start data logging the car, which is really exciting, but I'm not sure if we're gonna even be able to do that because we're having issues with the clutch and the oil's leak. It's just, there's a lot of stuff going on, but we'll worry about that later. Today we're gonna be finishing this car up though, hopefully. So we're gonna do a compression test real quick, double check to make sure that we're all good, and if so, then we're gonna be good to proceed with the car. We're working on a very strict timeline, so we're trying to hurry. Is that a wild Zorby that I hear? Hey friend.
Hi.
Your clutch is so loud.
Yeah, the clutch is really loud.
This car is the most ratchet and beautiful thing ever at the same time.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
You ready to hear a Coyote that has cams in it?
Yes!
The 85, baby. Listening to that. It's like an LS, just like a step up. All right, let's kill it.
So, you know what I'm about to say.
What?
Road trip.
Daniel, God, Jesus Christ.
We gotta break it in, come on.
All right, here's the deal, okay? We're gonna get this thing running tomorrow, Saturday. We're going to Lake Charles.
We're driving this to Lake Charles?
Yep.
Okay, I'll ride with you. Can you
Okay.
put your seat back in for me?
What seat?
Your passenger seat.
What passenger seat?
Yeah, you don't have a passenger seat.
Yeah, I sold them. Here goes the moment of truth. If we fixed it, which I'm pretty positive we did, but I'm not gonna get my hopes up. But if we fixed it, then we should be testing at like 175. Ready?
Yeah.
What is it at?
Like 155.
157. Why couldn't we just build an LS car?
God, it's too easy.
Well, we tested pretty much the same thing as last time, which is weird. I don't know what's going on. The data logs are showing that the cams are lined up right, so I really don't know. This is weird. What did that one test?
170.
So the next one tested 170, what the hell? Third on the passenger side, let's try this. 155. Why is this so confusing?
I think
Coyote engines are freaking difficult.
I just read on a forum that cylinders can go up to 15 psi just from break-in. So with all the numbers that's there right now, if they break in, it could go up to exactly what it should be.
So it's really hard to verify anything, but judging on the data logs, the the cams at least, they look to be in spec. So all right guys, we're continuing on with this video. It's the next day though. Last night we stopped recording. We had some stuff that we were taking care of, and unfortunately Doug informed me that this morning he woke up and found that Chip the little squirrel was dead. That's so sad. Chip the little squirrel didn't make it. But anyways, basically now that we got everything agreed right, we verified that it was okay in the data log, all that good stuff. VMP is ready for a proper data log now. And whenever we do that, all I gotta do is basically get the car up to operating temp, rev it slowly all the way to 7,000 RPMs and let it back down. And that's all he needs for now. So we're gonna go ahead and get started doing that. So you guys remember how we were having an oil leak whenever we first started the car up from the oil filter housing? Turns out that the Gen 2 Coyote block, which is what I had in the previous engine, the oil filter housing does not work. It's not compatible with the Gen 1 block. So apparently the gasket surface right here is a little bit different on this block, but we've got a relocation now, so it's actually going to be located pointing out of the front of the engine now instead, which is pretty nice. Anyways though, this should be the fix to our oil leak completely. Now we've got pretty much like a moment of truth here. We flashed on a new VMP revision. Now it's idling great, it's running great, all that good stuff. We're having pretty much no issues. Doug went ahead and replaced the oil filter housing on the bottom of the block. No more oil leak there. Everything is getting pretty much to where we're wrapped up here, but we're still having a problem with the transmission and the clutch. For some reason the clutch isn't wanting to disengage. We've just been messing with it on the lift. I haven't gotten to set it on the ground and try to move it, so that's what we're going to try to do right now. We're not going to try to drive it around. I'm just literally going to get in it, try to put it in reverse, back it up, come forward, see what the clutch is doing, and from there I guess diagnose and try to fix. So I guess let's give it a shot. This is the first time driving on this new clutch, new motor, new everything, and it's still a little bit funky, so we'll see what happens. Startup is pretty decent. If we don't have any issues, then great, but if we are having issues with the clutch, there's a high chance we're just gonna have to pull the trans again today. So it's just one thing or another, but we'll figure it out. Let's see what happens.
Give it a few pumps, like a few quick pumps. Now try.
So it is not going to drive. It is not even going to move. The clutch is not disengaging enough to even slip it into gear, which means that our throttle bearing is most likely going to need a shim, which we've actually got some throttle bearing shims here from where the Corvette, whenever we did the Corvette and everything, we had the same exact issue with the Corvette whenever we did the new clutch on there. But the issue is that this is a very untested setup. We've got a brand new engine, brand new clutch, brand new transmission, brand new everything, and none of these parts are technically even tested together. So we're just like throwing a bunch of stuff together. There's going to be issues that we got to work out, obviously. And also, just to add to it, with the triple disc clutch, it's a lot thicker of a clutch, which means that the throttle bearing on the back of the transmission is going to have to be a lot smaller. So if you look, the one that Doug has right here, the throttle bearing is relatively big, but on the new one that's in there, being that it is a triple disc clutch, the throttle bearing is actually like, it's like half the size of this one. So we've got to get it set up just right to be able to push just that little bit, because this triple disc clutch does not have a lot of throw to be able to open and close or engage and disengage the clutch. So it's a fine game that we're playing of trying to get this thing right, but whatever, guess that's what we're gonna have to do. All right guys, well there we have it. That's probably gonna be a wrap for today's video. Unfortunately, we are gonna have to kind of work a little bit quickly now. We're looking at having to pull the transmission again to be able to look inside of there, put a spacer between the throttle bearing and the transmission to where we can get full disengagement of the clutch, because right now it is stuck engaged. We can't put it into gear. I've pumped it a few times trying to build pressure, but the pressure is definitely there. It's just not pushing far enough to actually disengage the pressure plate. So we're gonna have to pretty much call Mantic real quick and try to let them know what the issue is and see if they've ever had these issues, and then we're gonna have to figure it out from there. So we did get a lot of the issues really fixed that we were trying to this today. We got the oil leak fixed, just the biggest thing really to me. I'm happy that it's not leaking oil everywhere anymore. And then the other main issue that we were looking at was the cams and everything, which we actually got the motor pulled apart yesterday and agreed the cams, set them up properly, which means that the cams are in spec. They're all great. So thank you so much for watching. If you have not gotten to check out some of my other videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like on this video, all that good stuff. And I will see you next video whenever we pull this dang transmission out of this car. It's gonna be fun.
I'm the greatest, yeah, I'm the greatest. See my competition, they just don't fit that niche. You can try to take a shot at me, I will not flinch. I try to jack at my sound and then I flip that script like I ain't doing no favors. See me